Now, yesterday, one of the viewers made the very astute observation that the only thing holding the movement here from being pulled off when you're pulling the batteries out is that brass nut on the other side that we put on yesterday. Now, unfortunately, I did notice that, or maybe I should say fortunately in this case, when I was putting these pieces on, the epoxy glue was oozing out pretty good. I got a feeling that it probably got between this thing and here. So it's probably pretty solid, but it could let go. Now there are 6 mounting holes provided. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, and then down in here, you can't really see them, but down in there and there's a couple of more. Now I'm just going to take a little quick look and see if I don't have maybe a real short screw, because we're looking at 217 thousandths of an inch. So this plywood, in other words, is obviously, I'll just check it again. Well, now we've only got 206. It's less than 1/4 of an inch thick. Well, now I'm going down to 1/4 of an inch. Okay, maybe it is 1/4 of an inch. Oh no, I'm at 215 thousandths. I guess it just depends where I measure. Now I'm big on keeping all kinds of things that I think I might need later. And I do have a lot of screws and stuff like that. And I know I've got a lot of really small screws. So surely I should be able to find, what I need. Yeah, probably in this one here. Well, you can see we're back to the old mechanical movement again. And I was upstairs a few minutes ago editing out these last 2 scenes that we saw, and noticed I had a comment. And so I looked at it, and it was from somebody named Dwight. And Dwight had an absolutely brilliant idea. The only thing wrong with it is I never thought of it before myself. Now, here's the idea. Now I'm going to paraphrase a bit. But you notice how the click goes down. It doesn't have to go down too far for the ratchet here, to be able to miss it. And so he said, why don't you, let's see, get something here that I can point with. Okay, I got my Axo knife. He says, why don't you put something underneath the click? Well, he called it a pawl. I think it depends on, what part of the world you're in is what you want to call it. Some people call this thing a click, and some people refer to it as a pawl. I've heard of it both ways. I can remember click best because it clicks. Anyway, he says, put something underneath here so it'll only go down so far. And that is such a simple and positive solution. If there was something underneath there, it couldn't possibly go down too far. I could just drill a little hole right here, and I could thread the hole. I actually have miniature taps and dies, and I could, put a little pin right there. Brilliant idea. Thanks, Dwight. I'm definitely going to do that. Not only on this one, but also on the other one. A few minutes ago I was looking for screws. I'd forgotten about the ones I took out yesterday. They're exactly the right length. Well, they might be a smidge long. I can always just grind the points off the ends, and then they'll be just right for sure. Now I only want to just take off the point, just enough so that in the event it does touch the dial on the other side, it doesn't pierce it. Now, if you do happen to make it too blunt and you haven't drilled a pilot hole, what will happen is the screw, as you probably can guess, is going to be trying to force its way through the wood, and it's going to be stripping itself out, trying to get through. I hope you know what I'm trying to say here. Anyway, let's see what happens. And as long as I'm being so bold as to name names here, it was Jim Eller who noticed that it would be possible for someone to break the movement away from the dial board while they're changing the batteries. Okay, we'll try this one. That's probably enough. Now, because I'm going to be wanting to put a lot of steady pressure on here while I'm turning it in, I'm going to use the electric drill to get it started, and then I'll finish off by hand. At least that's the plan. Okay, I think I stripped it out, so obviously I took it out here. I put just a little drop of CA medium in there. Okay. Now, if I didn't show you that, you would have never known I had a problem. Now, as I mentioned earlier, I want to be able to use this bracket to mount the speaker on. Now, I can assure you that from having a lot of experience in the past with battery movements, one of the frustrating things you can do is to accidentally have the opening in the back too small, and it makes it awkward to get the batteries in. You know, now that it's a battery movement, it doesn't have to have a little tiny hole. Okay, I think that reaches about the right height. I don't want the speaker just barely touching this, because then this will act as a sounding board and might end up with getting a little bit of a buzzing effect. So yeah, I think I'll mount it right about there. Maybe up just a little bit here. Leave lots of room for get the batteries in and out. Okay, I found the center here. And I've scuffed the back. I don't know why I always have a tendency to overdo things. I really don't need that much glue. Okay, now we'll get it centered on there. I was just noticing that my epoxy that I mixed up here about half an hour ago, it's not hard. Well, it's harder than it was, but I mean, it's, yeah, I wonder if I got a bad batch. Well, I'll have to wait till the morning, and if it, otherwise I'm going to have to pry this off and do something else. Guess in the meantime I could take some measurements here for cutting the opening in the back. Anyway, that's too bad. Kind of want to do a little bit more here, but I can't if I got a problem here. Well, I guess I could cut the holes. Oh, it's getting later anyway in the afternoon. Got enough here, get it uploaded, and see you tomorrow.